Yokoso, 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 arigato gozaimasu. Sayonara, Stadia. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, as somebody I see has already pointed out, of course, California time, midnight, 11:59. The lights are switched off. I'm not staying up. I'm not staying up that late. But this is, of course, the Stadia Wednesday night chat, a one-off special, a final farewell where we can gather in a safe place. Lovers are welcome, haters are welcome, the curious are welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about, I don't know, as I said, is it a wake? Is it a mourning? Is it a celebration? Is it a passing? Is it a rant? It's all of these and much more. It's whatever you want it to be, ladies and gentlemen. In the chat, I have so many questions. What was your outstanding moment, Stadia-wise? Let me know in the chat. What was your favorite game on the Stadia platform? Let me know in the chat. What was your favorite feature in the platform? On the platform, let me know in the chat. And all of that, as we, pass the morning, as it were. This is the morning, the wake, the celebration, as I said, of all things Stadia. I did so many shows, can't even bother to look how many shows I did. But yeah, so welcome, welcome, welcome. A little tribute.
So now we are focused on our next big effort, which is to build a game platform for everyone. And when we say for everyone, we really mean it.
From the beginning of time, games have brought us together. Players and spectators. By the handful, the hundreds and the thousands. We built stadiums. Places to gather around every kind of spectacle. And watch.
Yes! High five! Strike! Bam!
And create.
Woo! Nice!
From any screen, at any time. One place for all the ways we play. This is Stadia. Gather round.
Thank you, Sundar. It's such a pleasure to be here today, and thank you for joining us at GDC as we finally get to share Google's vision for the future of games, where the worlds of watching and playing games converge into a new generation game platform purpose-built for the 21st century.
That's my package. Let's find out. Hello. Hello. All right. Yeah, cheers. Brilliant. Thank you. Yes. It's here. Stadia. One place for all the ways we play. Google Stadia's Founders Edition in nice silver writing. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Nicely sitting upon its throne there. What's now? What's now? Is it next gen? Is it Gen 2? Yeah. Is it Gen 2? Yeah. I'm going. Yeah, I'm going. That's it. I'm done. I've cancelled the Stadium Pro. Yeah.
You're joking. Not another one?
When announcing those two games.
Target removed. the incredible Doom Eternal from the team at id Software.
Stadia. Stadia es una plataforma de juegos que vive en la nube y con Stadia los usuarios pueden jugar en un internet de alta velocidad.
There we go, a little tribute there, my little tribute, a little moment there, a little moment for all of us to kind of look back. I mean, it's sad, isn't it, really? But it's interesting that in my sort of, research, when I was looking for materials, obviously I went back to the beginning, that presentation at GDC back in March 2019. And it's interesting listening to the ambition and the vision, and in how it was such a good ambition and such a good vision, and yet ultimately it wasn't delivered on. A lot of those things, the whole fundamental bit of Stadia was that stadium where people play and watch, and they never really gelled those things, did they? Yeah, we had streaming, and for me, like a number of people have mentioned, it was that promise of being hey, wow, I could stream to YouTube and I don't need a big powerful PC and I could stream my games. The potential of that was what it excited me. I know it excited a number of people. The irony is I ended up getting a powerful PC to do stuff like this, but that was never the intention. The idea was that, hey, I'd be able to start streaming to YouTube thanks to the power of the cloud and YouTube. And that was an exciting thing. And that was a big promise. I mean, the fact they named it Stadia was based around that fact. They emphasized it, and yet apart from this sort of, direct to YouTube streaming, it wasn't really linked up. The whole, do you remember that Connect they had where they talked about, integrating crowd choice and all of that? That was going to be a big thing. And, the join button, they never really developed that. And when you looked at the first year, you can see, they spent the big bucks there, didn't they? The EA deal, Doom Eternal, Cyberpunk, the Capcom deal. That was where all the money went. And it really did need like a second and a third year of that consistency. But you could tell, actually, the moment they closed Stadia Games and Entertainment, I guess the writing was on the wall after all. Many of us hoped that it was just a readjustment, that, okay, the ambition had been reeled in a bit, but it would just take a slightly different direction and they would go at a slightly more steady pace. But actually, it hadn't worked. It didn't work in that first year when all that big money was spent. And there was no really salvaging it after that, although they did their best by downsizing it, refocusing it. But you just have to look at, today there was an announcement. Microsoft are laying off 10,000 people. That is the state of play of tech companies right now. And Google went through it and all of that. So there's no room. There's no room for sort of fat on the bone, as it were. So yeah, it's a crying shame. But going back through that original presentation to kind of put stuff together for today made me think the vision and the ambition was there, but just ultimately not delivered on. And that is the crying shame. You think about that first year, those big titles I mentioned, the big Stadia Connect with Phil there, You know, the announcement of Doom, PUBG, the EA deal. You just needed moments like that to continue. But as I said, once they decided to shutter SG&E, you know, I guess the writing was on the wall after all. But it'd be interesting to know your thoughts. This isn't going to be a post-mortem, really. I mean, we can't help, you know, I can't help but go into it a little bit. But, you know, the great thing about this is, you know, it created a fantastic community of people who are passionate about it. You know, either one side or enough, you know, passionate enough for people to get into arguments, to fall out with each other. Now, you only do that if it means something to you, you know what I mean? So that's the power, you know, of Stadia, really, ultimately, was creating a community of people who are passionate about it. Equally, people who are passionately against it. You know, that kind of irrational energy that people spent hating on it rather than just ignoring it. Plenty of people ignored it. That was the problem. But plenty of people, like gammons, were like, it makes me mad. That Stadia thing, it makes me mad. There was so much passion about. And that was the exciting stuff. That was the exciting stuff. Anyway, as I said, I want to know about your favorite moments, your favorite features, your favorite games. Put it down in the chat. Let's have a look at the chat, see who's in the chat, the early birds. I do have some Stadia news, and we'll come to that, oddly enough, one last time, yeah. But let's see who's in the chat and all of that. But make sure, yeah, put down your thoughts, your comments, your games, your features. Put them down. Victor's been here, you know, all along. And Victor was questioning at the beginning, and quite right, kicking the tires. And quite right too. Ray, the ray of sunshine of the Stadia world, the Stadia community. Sednar, how are you? ER Gaming in the house there. He's tidying up after the kids into bed. Sednar, forever listening. Thank you. William Gross, good day, sir. Lanky B, Stadia doesn't shut down in the UK till the 19th at 8 a.m. Exactly, yeah. 11:59 Pacific time. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what's going to happen. They're just going to switch it off. Who knows? Who knows? And now your mama knows. He's in the house. My favourite Stadia contender. Thank you, sir. As ever. Oh, man. Yeah. Yo, Cloud Validation. How are you? Lo-Fi, good to see you. When I was out, about a week or two after the first closure announcement. That's your favourite moment. Boo. Celebration of closing this chapter of digital gaming. Exactly. But, you know, I think in fairness, I wouldn't say it led the way, but it added kerosene to the fuel, as it were, or fuel. It lit the fire a bit, you know. It made Xbox pull its finger out a little bit on xCloud. It made Nvidia kind of really focus, and, well, all I can say, Nvidia, is GeForce Thursday tomorrow. Favorite game, Elder Scrolls Online. I'm still playing it with other methods. Good for you, sir. Journey to the Savage Planet and direct streaming to YouTube was my favorite feature. It was and the quality was so good. That was a great thing. There are some other, Boosteroid, interestingly enough, have direct streaming to YouTube. I'm experimenting with it, and I might do a video on that. But yeah, for me, that was the big promise, I think, was one of the exciting things. As I mentioned, I used to stream a little bit to Mixer via the Xbox playing Sea of Thieves, because that was a way I didn't need it, you know, like a powerful gaming PC to do it. And I could use, you know, stream via Xbox, and then with, I think, something called Lightstream Elements, I could put overlays on it, and that was all done in the cloud. So I didn't need a powerful PC. But the promise of being able to stream games direct to YouTube and all of that, yeah. Again, as I say, they never really, you'd think, I mean, you know, that was the thing, you know, to everybody outside, you'd think it's Google, it's YouTube, it's Stadia, but they never really held hands properly, did they? They never really, truly integrated it, it can't have been that difficult to, you know, buy this game now. That was the idea, wasn't it? Have the game, you know, have people, you know, trailers of games or whatever and a button, play this game now. And all that button stuff and finding it in the search, they introduced finally, didn't they? Like a few months before the announcement of the closure. And in fact, the search integrates GeForce Now and xCloud buttons. Click here and play these games instantly in the cloud. Why did that all take so long? I'll never know. I will never know. Internet of Games, hey Clive, thank you so much for pushing all of the truths about Stadia. The thousands of hours of content creation, the summer and winter games fest. Oh, I hardly had anything to do with that. Just a little bit. But that was, you know, the Penguins and Jack to Slip and all of that, and Ninja Guy put so much effort into those. And that was the thing about the community. What other community puts on events like that? I mean, I don't really, I'm not that involved in other, you know, communities, but the Sea of Thieves community used to create competitions themselves amongst the streamers and stuff, and that was quite fun. But other than that, I don't really know. The Stadia Game of the Year Awards, it was one of my favorite shows. It was so much effort on my part, but it really delivered the vision. You know, like sometimes, I don't know, as a creator, you have a vision and you try, but you don't always deliver on that vision. But the Stadia Game of the Year Awards, for me, delivered on the vision I had. I had a vision how I wanted it to look, how I wanted it to come across, and I think it did. I was very pleased with that. Lo-fi, woo! Yeah, Stream Connect, absolutely, Ray. YouTube integration finally allowed me to stream gameplay. Yeah, exactly. It was such a good. PUBG, you know, actually, PUBG was quite meaningful because my partner is not really a gamer, but you know, with Stadia was allowed obviously to play on a Chromebook. She bought a Chromebook, and you know, especially during COVID and stuff when we couldn't meet up as much as we wanted, but not at all, as it were. We used to play PUBG together all the time. Sometimes used to stream it, and it was such fun. We talked about everything: philosophy, politics, Japanese culture, Japanese politics, English politics, everything, all whilst playing and streaming. And you know, that was a non-gamer, so that was really great. Cyberpunk 2077. I was thinking about that, Ray, and you know, Stadia needed a few more Cyberpunk moments, really. Cyberpunk was the moment we thought, yeah, that it was the tipping point. But as it turned out, you know, still they didn't hit their targets of, you know, allegedly of like 1 million subscribers. You know, they were short. There was 750,000 odd rather than 1 million. Allegedly, apparently that's, you know, the figures. And Cyberpunk was the first time that the cynicism seemed to die down. The reality that actually, you know what? That we're seeing now all the time, all the tech blogs and all the tech press going, oh, it's a shame, really. The tech was really good. Oh, it's a shame Stadia's going. Yeah, tech was really good. That's a shame it's going, isn't it? I really quite like Stadia. Really? You really quite like Stadia? Spent 2 years dissing it in the tech press, and now you say you liked it just because it wasn't cool at the time. It's like a passing of a friend. You hate them when they're alive, but when they died, everybody's got nice words about them, yeah? But yeah, Stadia certainly needed some more Cyberpunk moments. You know, Resident Evil Village was a bit like that, I thought. Outcasters was disappointing as a game, ultimately. I think, you know, there was a lot of hope around that. Is it Outcasters I'm thinking, or Outriders? Getting muddled up. Anyway, yeah. Stadia broke my account when they processed my refund, and I was never able to play games after that. Oh, no. Jeremy, one of the unfortunate ones. Didn't quite work out. I got all my money back. I'm not, just saying, worked out quite well. I think for most people, it was fairly seamless. Even the $1. I told you the story about my son buying FIFA coins at like $1 or $5 a time because there was some glitch in the system. So he bought like about 10 lots of $5 or even 20 lots, I think it was. And they all got refunded. So suddenly my email was triggering off, getting these PayPal refunds. Bing, 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 bing. All these little tiny amounts. The Stadia Championships, playing with so many great players. It was, I remember, as I said, I had a very small part to play in it. It was Jack to Slip, wonderful Jack to Slip's kind of idea and concept, really. And I remember, putting together the Hitman level, not realizing or even dawning on me that there are people who do, Hitman run-throughs as fast as you can. And there was some in the community who do that. And it just blew me away, the imagination and skill and speed at which people could, something that took me about 40 minutes. I think the record was about 3 minutes or something. It was incredible. My favorite moment is a stable version. Yeah, exactly. That was such a cool moment. There was so much like vitriol and disgust about Cyberpunk because they tried to squeeze it onto a PS4 and squeeze it onto an Xbox One and squeeze it onto kind of average gaming PC, which, 2022 was the 1650 graphics card. That's the average. And unless you had a really powerful gaming PC or Stadia, you had a rubbishy experience. And a lot of people jumped on Stadia thanks to Cyberpunk, and that's what it needed. It needed. The thing about gamers, it's funny, and we'll come to it in the news, but I've read 2 articles, and I think it was on the BBC News site, because a lot of I heard it on the radio, in the Radio 1 News today, so that's BBC Radio 1 News. They talked about Stadia closing. That's how big it is and significant it is. Not much in between Stadia starting and Stadia closing, but it made the mainstream on those 2 points. The birth and the death of Stadia made the mainstream news. But anyway, in one of the articles, it talks about how gamers are pretty tribal, and it never quite really broke through, partly because of that tribalism. And I thought, yeah, that's a very valid point. You really need to bash the mainstream gamer over the head, like with something. Yeah, something so amazing. The tech on itself was never going to be enough. It needed the Cyberpunk, it needed Doom, it needed FIFA, but it needed those consistently. Yeah, it needed some, maybe an exclusive game, but that was never going to come on a scale anyway. Outcasters. No, it would have to be a game even bigger than people talk about. High on Life was, being originally developed for Stadia, apparently. That wouldn't have really turned the needle that much. It needed, that moment, that Fortnite moment, that's what Xbox brought Fortnite onto xCloud. It needed that kind of big, you need to basically go up to the average gamer and slap them in the face to sort of shake them out of their tribal loyalty to the big PS or the big X, It needed something more than the tech to shake people out of their narrow ways of thinking. We, you, we're the pioneers. Yeah? The people of the frontier, the triers, the doers. Yeah? We're the crazy ones. Yeah? Who didn't, who asked why not? Yeah? Who took that leap? And, maybe it didn't work out. Well, maybe it did, because ultimately we didn't lose anything, did we? Most of us, we got all our money back. And actually, that's quite nice. We probably squeezed out all our experience of those games. So actually, we basically had a nice ride of free entertainment for nearly two and a bit years. Yeah. Don't forget to hit the likes, by the way, everybody, because it really helps the video and all of that. And if you are new here, arigato gozaimasu, please hit the subscribe button, toggle the notification bell. That way you'll know when I go live with content like this, not Stadia content. Yeah, no more Stadia Monday, Wednesday night. No, it's all gone. It was the dream. It was the dream, lo-fi. Yeah. Phil Harrison, the Grim Reaper. FIFA was so good. That's the irony. I was looking at the Stadia blog. I mean, many of us in the, who like, look, I make no shades about it. I was a passionate advocate for Stadia. Everybody knows that. Did that passion and desire for Stadia maybe lean too much into sort of fanboyism over cold reality? Yeah, of course it did. Probably did. Look at this. This is how sudden the closure was. 27th of September. FIFA 23 early access is now available. Woo! 3 days before the actual release of FIFA 23. Woo! On the 27th of September. And then the 29th of September, it's all over. You can see how sudden it was. Why, look at these blog posts. This week, games for any season on the 20th. On the 27th, FIFA 23 is here. Yay! 2 days later. No, sorry, it's all over. Goodbye. Goodbye. You're fired. It is indeed. It is indeed. It's shutting down. Hey, Kenny G, how are you? Guilt. Oh, yeah, Guilt was so good. Barclay there with the funding. Woo, thank you, Barclay. Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank is in the house. Guilt. Guilt was the first exclusive, wasn't it? And that was such a great game. It was those sort of mixture of games. I mean, Cyberpunk was delayed from February 2020. And Doom was meant to come out. Doom Eternal was meant to come out in December 19. I talked about this loads of times. And both of those slipping during the sort of the first few months of the platform were not helpful. Crossplay against Xbox. Yeah. PUBG was such fun. Being able to play PUBG against Xbox and PlayStation players. It's funny, actually. I downloaded PUBG. I know. I'm starting to download things. It's like a bad habit. It's like, no, I'm never going to do it. And once you do one download, it's like, well, I'll just download another. So I've downloaded a couple of games on my Xbox after I said, I'll only ever play in the cloud. Anyway, I downloaded PUBG actually, but I've got to start again. That's the annoying thing. I've got to start again. I'm going through all the training exercises. I have to do 10 AI matches, which is fine because I get a chicken dinner in every single one. But we changed the landscape for gaming forever. Maybe we nudged the needle, put it that way. We nudged the needle. But as I said, I think Stadia certainly led the way. Yeah, there'd been other things, other people working on it. But the fact that Google moved into this thing and they came out with it, Microsoft weren't to know whether it was going to be a success or not. Everybody was looking at it. Netflix was looking, oh my God, Google. And in fact, if you look at that presentation, when Sundar comes on to the stage, the GDC 2019, he says, this is Google's next big thing. He gave the impression, certainly to anybody watching, that this was going to be the next big thing. that Google investing, you know, like as big as YouTube. Hey, Demiurge. MCK, thank you. Thank you for the, look at that. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. So anybody listening would definitely think any other corporations in the area, in the field, are thinking, wait a minute, Google are going big on this. This is serious. Because that's what they said they were going to do. So no one knew what the outcome would be. So it's certainly, you know, people would be going, what's our strategy? What's our strategy going to be? Let's, you know. So if anything, Stadia ushered forward, sped up, you know, the move into cloud gaming. Ironically enough, I think the death of Stadia slowed things down. Also just the downturn in tech generally isn't helping. But as I said, GeForce Now announced their 4080 tier. They're going to start rolling that out soon. I wonder when. We'll have to wait and see until the GeForce Now news happens tomorrow. Find out when. Stadia, it is Gizmoduck. It's a sad day for us Stadians. I miss the platform. It brings me back. You know what? I'd been quite harsh. I cut it off. You know, like an old girlfriend. Like, damn, that's it. I'm done. It's no good crying over spilt milk. I moved on. As many of you knew, I moved on. Right? But with the introduction of the new converting your controllers into Bluetooth controllers, which I did last night, but it didn't work on my LG. But I tried it on my gaming PC and I fired up GeForce Now to play Destiny 2 with the Bluetooth controller, and it worked a treat. And there for a while, just before I came on live tonight, I was playing away and that old familiar feel in the hand. You know what I mean? Don't want to come across creepy. Don't want to come across creepy, but that old familiar that for the last 2 and a bit years that I'd almost discarded instantly and replaced with, you know, an Xbox controller to play my games in the cloud, whether on Xbox, xCloud or GeForce Now. But no, I was playing GeForce Now via Bluetooth with the Stadia controller. What lovely, I love this little controller. It's so, you know, my friend said, you know, it looks like a face, which it kind of is meant to, I guess. It's, you know, part of a design aesthetic. If you make something look like a face, certain symmetry to it. But just the feel of it, loved it. I loved it. And playing there just kind of, it did make me feel reminisce a bit. Although I did have this, it was a bit creepy because I was thinking, is that not like ditching your old girlfriend, or say, I don't know, say your girlfriend passed or whatever it is, and then you get a new girlfriend and they say, are you over your old girlfriend? Yeah, no, I'm definitely over my old girlfriend, but will you just wear this dress? Bit creepy. No, definitely. Could you just cut your hair like this, please? That's, do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like playing GeForce Now with a Stadia controller. A little bit to me. It feels a bit. Is that right? You know what I mean? Is it right? I don't know. Gotta love Stadia, mate. Its last few hours be awesome indeed. Stop it crying, Cloud. Roasting cowboys on state. Yeah, exactly. So many people created so much amazing shows. You know, Ray was on everybody's show. Like you knew it was like he's centered, this kind of smiling. If I do a Ray impression, you usually down here. I can't quite. This is my Ray impression down here. Yeah. But it was you know, and then there's a cowboy and all of that. Everybody creating such content. Rock, I mean, Rock is like Toad of Toad Hall when it comes to content creation. You know, it's like, oh, I've got another idea. You know, his cloud shows, his daily shows, his Stadia Rock news. It's like everything. So many such good things. The Helix Boys. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, you can tell who the designers are. They have such good graphics. Bill and I was going to say Bill and Ted, Bill and Lloyd, Sunny, of course. You know, Meg streams, MM2K. Oh, so entertaining. MM2K streams. Oh, it was like going to the church of Stadia. Hallelujah, brother. I felt like, hallelujah, brother. It was brilliant. I used to love all of that. I mean, so many people, and I've missed you, I'm sorry, but so many people to mention. Such good thing. And then, you know, you've got the Spanish guys. I used to watch some of that. Didn't know what they were saying, but I usually watched it if there was something controversial. The guys in Germany, used to watch them occasionally just to try and work out whether I could see what they were arguing about or discussing, usually when there was some sort of controversy around Stadia. Fascinating. Brilliant. Yeah, thank you for the hugs. Oh, I'm sold. Yeah, said, no, right, let's all sign up. Let's all sign up. Yeah, it does feel a little bit, if you just shut your eyes when you're loading in, say to GeForce Now, yeah, just load up the game, try to do it without looking. And then once the game is loaded up, open your eyes and it's just like playing on Stadia. Yeah, that's what it'll be like. What did you think of the Stadia documentary at Clive Linden? I'm not familiar with the documentary there. Is that what do you think or did I think? Meetings Ray Mum. Oh dear. Very good. Yeah, drinks all round. Hello, Roger. Google started being cheap a few months after launch, says. I want to call you Marcel Marceau. Master System Marceau. Yeah. I think they spent they spent all the big bucks. You think about it, but they just needed to keep doing it. But I guess they did it. They were given a massive budget on the basis that they would meet this target of 1 million, you know, whatever the target was. Let's call it, for the sake of argument, 1 million subscribers by the end of the first year. And that probably would have triggered the release of more budget. You know, I think it was Jack Booster said they were signed up with stuff for the next 2 years. And I think this was after the first few months. And I think if they'd hit their target, that may have released more funds to keep doing more of the same thing. But they didn't. They didn't. But if you imagine if they'd spent like they'd spent in the first, which they couldn't do because they never met the target. So it would be foolish to have spent that kind of money. I'm not sure it needed quite shooting in the face and putting out of its misery in the violent way it was. But yeah, it couldn't sustain that support, that funding that clearly went on in the first couple of years. You just got to look back now and examine it in history. Those titles, as I said, the Capcom titles, the EA title deals, you know, Doom, Cyberpunk. I mean, you think of the Capcom titles, if the Capcom relationship, we'd be having Monster Rise. Monster Hunter, I mean. I say the Stadia team had the ambition to carry it through, but the Google, yeah. Well, I think the Stadia team made the best they could. And I think were given, like I always said at the time of the closure of SG&E, whilst in retrospect, I absolutely recognize now the writing was on the wall. You did get a sense that the Stadia team said, right, okay, look, we just have to refocus. The ambition is a lot less, but we can make this work. We can bide our time. When the marketplace is ready, we'll be ready. And that to me made a lot of sense. And I think the Stadia team that around that time, Corinne Yap and her team and the GDCs that they did 2 GDCs. Following that, the little enhancements, you could see you had a team that was passionate about this project, passionate about keeping it going. But the powers that be ultimately, especially when the grim, the sort of the market crash in tech companies, as we are seeing even today with Microsoft laying off 10,000 people came, the poor, bless them, they didn't stand a chance. They did not stand a chance. Inled, how are you? Google's not a little guy. Yeah, certainly wasn't the little guy. But they were made a little guy. The Stadia bit within Google was a little guy who didn't get support from its bigger family, put it that way. I'm shocked that it lived on. I'm still shocked that OnLive, oh yeah, lasted 2 years longer than Stadia. Yeah. Well, because ambition and targets were probably significantly less. And the failure for meeting those targets less severe. That's what happens when you've got big corporations who could go, no, it was a fail, write it off. Gizmo Duck, thank you for the money. Much farewell, Stadia. It's not your fault. Blame Google. I think ultimately we're all there. And blame Google for not convincing the gamers, not understanding the gamers market ultimately, because I said the gamers need a slap in the face with the fish to draw them out of their, silos, to change the world, to be a disruptor. You need to really move the world. And that first year, that ambition, everything, they were ready to move the world, but they just didn't follow up. Oh, Play Store, we know that isn't going anywhere. The Google Play Store, no. Well, it makes them $48 billion a year, so I don't think so. Pleasure to have been on this, yeah. Oh, Helix, absolutely. But we've all gone on to other, to carry on with content creation. We've got this passion, we enjoy it. We've, found ways to kind of vent and put that on. I miss Jem there. Jem, how are you? Oh, it's all this kind of stuff. Let's go back up here. Wow. Demiurge, MCK, thank you. Stadia will die, but long live cloud gaming. Exactly. And it will live long. Trust me. Trust me. What I've been doing for the last week or so, and I'm sure some other people out there have been doing. Trust me. And Barclay, again, thanks, Stadia. It was a great time. And to Google in the future, you will regret. Exactly. They will regret it, I think. They will regret. But ultimately, they're just not there. It wasn't their business. They will regret it. They will regret it. Wow, I missed all these things. I do apologize. If pro Stadia content got clicks like trolling Stadia, yeah, exactly. But it's the thing, when something becomes cool to kick, everybody kicks it. That's the nature of horrible nature of life. I've dived for, here we are. Levi says I had an amazing time. Yeah. Met some amazing people along with Stadia. Massive shame the way it all ended. I mean, it ended violently. Yeah. Suddenly. Shock and awe. Wow. Stadia was the little guy. Yeah, the little guy within Google. Exactly. Yeah, could have purchased Bethesda and Activision. Yeah. Tomb Raider was a light bulb moment for me. Yeah, it looked so good. For me, it was Destiny 2. The first time, I've said it a million times, I fired up, as you saw in my opening video, I fired up Stadia Founders Edition. Proud owner. Fired up Destiny 2, and it played better than my Xbox One at the time. And I knew, many people heard me say this a million times, and I knew, by God, they've gone and done it. They've shown cloud gaming can work. It got me, Travis says, I love Stadia so much. It got me into cloud gaming. I'm on GFN Ultimate now. Yeah, I am. To think how far we've moved. I mean, the Stadia tech was amazing. Yeah. But that was in November 19. And at the speed at which tech moves, GeForce Now has surpassed it in terms of, well, you're getting, they're rolling out the 4080 tier towards the end of this month. And you're getting 4K, 120 frames per second. Or even 1080, 240 frames per second. With a latency of as low as 35 milliseconds. Less than your Xbox Series X natively. But that's nearly 2.5 years, whatever, later. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, yeah. Stadia, certainly, that's it. Exactly, lo-fi. It not just got the world talking about cloud gaming. And interesting enough, people still get it a little bit wrong, even in all the kind of eulogies for Stadia. But it got other businesses thinking, oh, what's our strategy? Yep, fair enough. I'm across Xbox, xCloud, and GFN, but I must admit the GFN Ultimate is such a smooth experience. I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 recently in it, and Fortnite. Don't play Fortnite. Back-to-back wins with my son. Unbelievable. Well, not unbelievable, but like it looked and plays amazingly. But playing Destiny 2, as I said, I was playing with my new Bluetooth controller. What's up, Balls for Life? Google took a chance making Stadia for big game developers and not like Play Store where everyone can upload. Yeah. Yeah. They just needed to, unfortunately, the gaming business want to see the big bucks, There was always, was it Zelznick from 2K Games or Take-Two, whatever, said, it's all right, tech's okay, but I don't think it's going to move the needle. And I think it was right. Because he looks at the sales of Red Dead Redemption 2 or, GTA, and he's going, people still go into a shop and buy the physical game. We're a few years away from, so he's looking at his market data going, I don't think people are ready for cloud gaming quite yet. So I think he was right, actually, thinking, oh, you're not thinking too far ahead. I think he was right. It wasn't quite ready. I think it was just a few years out. Who knows? I was hoping somehow they could surprise us and be like, surprise! Surprise! Actually, here's Fortnite and Warzone. We've just slipped in. We're waiting here. They're just waiting for the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal to collapse. And then they'll be in like Flynn. Yeah. If Google would have simply integrated Google Stream one game at a time, starting with Assassin's Creed into Play Store and tiptoed it into the market. Yeah. If they just delivered a lot of the features, the ambition at that talk, GDC 2019, the ambition was there. It was all there. And that's many of us, that's what I bought into, and I held fast to it. And I thought, oh, they'll get there. Oh, they're doing it. I made excuses. Yes. Hands up, I made excuses for them. But I thought, surely they can see the potential. But yeah, in an ideal world, you go, and here it is. Everything we've just said for you there. But no, it sort of said, but we'll just sort of eke it out. No, it's a shame. Other communities don't need to put on events that fun for them. Exactly. But I think it's fun. As I said, you get big gaming communities like Sea of Thieves used to put on their own events. The community, it's fun. Ubisoft, yeah. I mean, that was, as that turned out, that was such a blessing for Stadia, wasn't it? The Ubisoft deal, the partnership. I'm really sad I never got to experience it. Oh, well, you've got Ghost. You've got about 10 hours, I think. 10 hours, maybe. Yeah, Ubisoft Plus made it great. Exactly. Rebellion games were my go-to games. Yeah, you mean like Sniper? Well, I was playing Sniper Elite 5 on the old Xbox. Am I right with that one? Yeah. If not for Ubisoft, yeah, I would have played. If not, I wouldn't have played so many Assassin's game. Yeah. Indie game on Stadia got my attention to try new games. That was a great thing about the Pro subscription. You were, and ironically, after the lack of games, it kind of forced you, which I don't mind, to try stuff that you wouldn't try. And it was quite fun. I mean, the whole, oh, I wonder what's going to be, you know, what's coming this month, and that whole anticipation and the sort of the week before the, you know, the first week of the month, what the Pro title is going to be, and the excitement and the disappointment and all of that. It became a thing. I quite like that experience. I love that. The discussion about, oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. I like Calico more than I expected I would. Oh, yeah, the cats. The Stadia community, yeah. Shout out Stadia community. I said they're passionate people, passionate about the tech, passionate about it succeeding. And as I said, even when, you know, when it didn't go in the direction that certain people left the community because it didn't go the direction they want, they were passionate about it, wanting it to work, you know? Indie games and Chromecasts. Yes, exactly. GTA 5 could have saved it. It needed not just, I don't think it would have been one title, struggle boxing, but it needed some big hitters, more big hitters. Didn't, you know, as I said, you just need to bash those one-dimensional gamers over the head. Hello, to get their attention from the keyboards. The stave, absolutely. I mean, you know, this whole Bluetooth thing, they didn't have to do it. They did not have to do it. And it required effort. They had to create the code. They had to set up a walkthrough website. Somebody had to do that, stay behind and do it. And they did that probably not just because of pay. They did it because of pay and passion. I hate it was, oh, Ghost. Oh, that's a shame. Is GeForce Now available in your country, Ghost? I've so much love for the Stadia team, not so much Google, yeah. It needed to fulfill its brief, yeah, more quickly. Yeah, goodbye PUBG and Destiny 2. I remember competing with Yoshida to get my, she'd say, oh, my Destiny character is at, you know, 1650 now. And I'd go, oh, yeah. And then I'd secretly go away and get mine to like up, you know, grind away until my character was 1658. And then she'd see it and she'd go, what? Nanny, what? Sugoi. It was so much to do with the devs not porting games day and date as much as consumer tribe. Yeah. It needed all the games that did kind of get there, like the Doom, like that. They invested heavily. And Cyberpunk by default, because it had delays, they invested. That first year was the template for how, give or take delays of a few games, of how they needed to continue ultimately to sustain, but they couldn't sustain that. I thought Stadia had made it when Humankind was announced, and I enjoyed it. I never really got into Humankind. True, had been a smaller company, we'd lost all our, exactly. We would have lost all our purchases. I mean, avoided a lawsuit, you know, a class action, and even if they would have been successful in winning that, defending that class action against them, it would have cost money to pay all the lawyers. Not that much. But equally, in the terms and conditions, as I think it was Ben from 9 to 5 pointed out on a tweet I saw, they always said they would refund if it ever closed down, in tiny print somewhere in the terms and conditions. Barclay with the money, great time, and to Google in the future, yeah, we've done that one, yeah. Guilt's going to disappear. I know. Really? They're not moving it to other platforms. Costs money, and if you're a small developer with a small team that you hire in and expand, when a game needs expanding, but otherwise you're a small unit, just don't have the money, which is a crying shame. It needs somebody to go to pay a small team a number of months to port it to, PC or whatever. Love the background edit Wednesday. Thank you, Crow. Yeah. I thought originally I wasn't going to do anything. I just thought I'd do some silly stuff around, FIFA 23 could have been the deciding factor. Google probably pawned up some big bucks to bring it over. No, I think the decision to close Stadia was happening. The FIFA 23 and all of that didn't move the needle. That was all happening. That was deals done, deals in the pocket. No, the decision to just kill it was done very high upstairs. What's the name of the game that was a Kickstarter the community went had to support? That's still coming out. Oh, somebody in the chat, tell him what it is. I've forgotten. Yeah. It's going to come to me. Cloud Sky Climbers. Sky Climbers is the game, Jay. I think it was Sky Climbers. There were some other ones as well in the Kickstarter community. Does anyone have some interesting, poor old Inled? What am I going to do, Inled? What am I going to do? What I miss is the library of games being there all the time. Yeah, exactly. And just growing. That pro library of games just growing and growing and growing and growing. PS5 game streaming has been brought into this discussion to consult with a closure. Interesting. Hey, Clive, it's been a blast watching you cover Stadia. Loved your content. Onward and upward. Yee! I will pour one out for the old Stadia. Ching, ching. Yeah, come by. GeForce Ultimate Marketing, heavy to coincide with the closure of Stadia. Yeah. Watch GeForce Now Thursday is tomorrow. Makes sense. I tried to keep Stadia going, but it fell out, just fell out of love. Do you know what? Almost as soon as I fell out of love, I just thought, well, I didn't even mourn it. I don't think, and perhaps this is what this show is all about. I moved on because I just couldn't, I couldn't bear to look at it. It's stupid, isn't it? I almost couldn't bear to look at it. I was doing some research for something last week, and I fired it up for the first time since the announcement, I think. And it just felt, I don't know, part of it felt like a familiar old friend, but also it felt a bit odd because I'd so violently moved away from it once they'd made the announcement. And I've now poured myself into sort of xCloud and GeForce Now, and I create content for those kind of platforms and stuff like that, and for, you know, my show, and I'm finding it all very fascinating. I've moved on. But as I said, playing Destiny 2 on GeForce Now with via Bluetooth using this. Look, this is little brother. Yeah. Hey, Vet, how are you? Good to see you. Still, several Stadia community channels I follow still. Good for you. I made so many great people Stadia. Ray, Anthony, Rock, Sunny, Meg, Clive, MM2K, SPG. Yeah, exactly. The Nerf Report, of course. The Nerf Report. Rock, Chase, Eddie. Oh, Eddie. Yeah, Eddie Player One. An amazing Chase. My favorite part was the community. So many people say that, and that's so sweet. Jem is in that. Jem. Everybody look forward to Jem's videos. What's up, gamers? Yeah. There was even like people had their own catchphrases. Can you believe it? We had a community in which people had their own catchphrases. Unbelievable. Oh, come on, Tomodachi. Exactly. My favorite bear. Would I sign up? Yeah, probably. It depends. It depends. But like, would they have the audacity? The audacity. I know people have short memories, but like, really? Who knows? You know, maybe it's seamlessly, I don't know, in 5-10 years time, it's seamlessly part of YouTube. I mean, who knows? I mean, look at the rise of TikTok. Who knows what's going to be the next big thing, you know? But imagine if it's you know, started just being part of YouTube. Like it kind of was meant to, but it just sort of became just an extended part of not just viewing, but viewing, playing, and streaming. There's an idea. Day one, yeah, unlikely. If it were directly controlled by Google, yeah, I don't trust Google. So many people, exactly. I mean, you know, they've burnt their bridges a little bit, haven't they? Really, when it comes to it, especially in terms of gamers. The mainstream gamers, which is half the problem, like I said, they didn't grab the very entrenched gamers by the collars and go, we've come to disrupt you and you're going to enjoy it and we're slapping you with a fish, right? They didn't do that enough with the big wow moment, yeah? It wasn't enough to rely on the tech. And a lot of the reason it needed so much effort to convince the gamers is because it was Google. Well, what's Google doing in gaming? Apart from mobile gaming, you know, what's Google? Google, who do they think they are? They'll probably go and close it, won't they? No, don't be stupid, because they're investing billions in it. Why would they close it? That would be ridiculous. Oh. So, yeah, I think the trust... Gone. Free tech experiment, count me in. Exactly. It was in a way like a 2.5-year tech experiment. Yeah, loss of trust. And I get that. If Google walked away and didn't give some money back, it might be a different story. But in fact, we got exactly. We got all our money back. The refund was good, but I think it avoided as I said, they said they were going to do it in the small print right at the beginning. I mean, somebody said, why didn't they make that more obvious? Well, you don't launch a platform and go, oh, by the way, if it all goes wrong, you know what I mean? You sort of tuck that down somewhere in the T's and C's, you know, but it was there. It was there. Right. Let's try and keep up. Oh my God. So many people. If I go to, I wonder if I go to, I'm just going to go to chat, see if it, yeah, look at that. Right. Now people can see what's going on in the chat a bit more. I'm gonna whiz through. I keep my Stadia founder next to my on live. Good for you. The moment when gamers don't know that they lost today. Exactly. Yeah, I hope they have. I've seen many people out on Twitter from the staff, the community. I think I think they genuinely, you got a sense from the Stadia team and they genuinely believed in the project. And they genuinely wanted to keep it alive, not just for their own, you know, their own jobs, because they believed in it. Families, young kids, and found success. I don't know. I just don't think it, you know, I know it just didn't convince enough people in order to keep sustained and funded. And it meant it sort of withered on the vine. And whilst it might have weathered the storm and lived to fight another day, unfortunately, the storm, the economic global collapse, was one storm it couldn't weather in this brutal world. As I said, 10,000 people are being laid off Microsoft today. So, you know, or announced. Crater. Yeah, see, that had so much potential. And so many people made, you know, so much good games, but it kind of, you know, died down a bit. Defeating Cowboy and Power Rangers, Pac-Man and MK destroying in Wreckfest. One of my favorite was the PUBG, when we had like a PUBG tournament. That was so, you know, teams. That's what it was all about. Teams of 4 playing PUBG. Hey, I can't see. Good to see you. Hey, Foso and Elsa. Missed the platform, I know. Officially gone. I can't believe it. Well, you know, by 8:30 in, you know, my morning, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. GFN's my preferred option at the moment. Still experiment for log. Yeah. I'm enjoying it I play a lot on here on my PC, but enjoy it on the LG. When Battlefield was added to Xbox, the difference is like night and day. Between the two, it is indeed. Same here, says Fosa. Foso and Elsa. We definitely had good memories. We certainly did, Torres. What are people? I can't. Ray Daly. What are people could play in the dying hours? Worm. I've finally realized features technology are only secondary in importance to games. That is certainly the case with xCloud. Certainly the case. GeForce Now, it's secondary to PC gaming, but they want to put PC gaming in as many people's hands as possible. And they've realized that the cloud is the way to do it. So I think GeForce Now have a slightly more emphasis on the cloud now, as it's a way of getting people to play PC games, because that's what NVIDIA are all about. Whether you build your own PC to play PC games or not. I'm tempted to jump into FIFA 23. Oh, yeah. Maybe Destiny 2. Maybe one last giant session of Destiny 2 for everybody. It was great for what it was, indeed. I already left. Stadia didn't need one particular popular game. It needed developer buy-in across the board. Exactly. It needed consistent, big bangers, consistently, tent poles. In that first year, as I said, what was meant to happen, launch in November. December, Doom Eternal, got delayed until March or whatever. Then in March, you were meant to have Cyberpunk. And then the EA announcements, and then PUBG. And you big tent pegs throughout that first year. Yeah? Big games. And then the announcement of the closure, all they had left was what they'd already agreed. The 5-game deal with EA, the Capcom maybe deal, and some other things. But then they just wound those down. It needed to keep going, but why would you keep investing if you're Google corporate, if it's not hitting the targets? Because in your mind, you're throwing good money after bad. Lost potential, exactly. Yeah, Bluetooth is that, and that's another good thing really about the environment. I've got so many people who've got so many controllers. I hate throwing away. As a parent, I've got so many useless plastic toys. I just loathed. What are they going to? You can't really recycle them, give them to other people because they might be dirty or moldy, whatever. But I just don't want them to go to a LAN site. They were in a catch-22. Nobody plays Stadia, no games, no development. That was the dilemma they had to overcome, wasn't it? Cloud validation. It's so great to see so many people in the house tonight. Really, really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the likes, everybody, and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Has the clouds, but yeah, it's not quite the same, Sean. There are moments I've managed to play through all of Halo, all of High on Life, but it's a bit more glitchy, not quite as smooth. That's all the games, but not quite as smooth. And GeForce Now has the slickness, but not quite as user-friendly, although a lot better. It's getting a lot better. Just that kind of Stadia was that, creating that console eco environment in the sky, all in one, like a console's meant to be, but virtual. They were the only one that's doing it. That's the thing that I miss. It's so easy just to fire up your controller, pick a game, play it, boom. FIFA 23, nice way to go out. It's going multi-platform, I heard. FIFA 23, yes, indeed. It is. It's simply bought Google Stream and one game at a time, AAA bangers, Play Store. Yeah, maybe. Part 2, do you think we'll ever know the true members had for active players? Probably not. I think the numbers, the quoted, aren't just pulled out the sky. The million target, the 750. I mean, estimates have been done. The scientists have done, it is a data analyst. He's done estimates based, using, and he's got a PhD in data analytics. Jack D is, mad on sort of data analytics. And I think the figures that they've come up with are probably in the right ballpark. My gut feeling is maybe 2 million, 3 million probably played it. Yeah. Well, Ian, exactly. That's how much. $78 billion That's why the world's, the competition and market authorities around the world are looking at that deal. And I think that deal did have repercussions. Well, that's the kind of money you need to splash around to make a splash. And Google thought, well, we're splashing loads of money. Millions. But millions compared to billions, we're out. Maybe. I got the Founders Edition at launch. The service worked flawlessly for me, even with slow internet. At 50 megabits per second. Spaceman, I got 50 megabits per second.
Something went wrong. Try
Stop.
again in a few seconds.
Even, courtesy of BT, average out about 50 megabits per second. Perfect. Also, same with GeForce Now, same with xCloud. Works. It's not the same, especially, it's not quite the same, xCloud. I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough, but it's not the same. GeForce Now, though. Chef's kiss. It's fully reclaimable within, there we are, Internet of Games. Good shout. Recycling network. And so it should be. Sky Climbers, that was the one. Sky Climbers. Yeah. Dev Carnival. Maybe they're going to release it tonight. 5 minutes to. Yeah. Hey, Victor. Victor, I miss Victor and his cynicism at the beginning. That's what it needed. Valid questions, Victor used to ask. Show me the prospect of needing specialized hardware. The community is a cherry on top. Exactly. Who knew about the community? Exactly. That's what happens when you've got exciting tech. How will people use their Bluetooth controller starting tomorrow? Exactly. Let us know. I have now, as I said, configured it with my PC. I think I prefer playing with a wired controller, but actually, because the latency, just a touch, but actually I've been playing GeForce Now and the latency of GeForce Now is so good. It is so small, the latency, that actually playing with Bluetooth, this Bluetooth controller, because that's what it is now, it's a Bluetooth controller, it's actually quite good. And as I said, it's just, it's like it's familiar, isn't it? Like an old girlfriend, yeah? No, like the current girlfriend. Also fantastic. Most would play with a big bunch of games for no cost. Yeah, exactly. My 3 controllers all have Bluetooth now. I'll get through them. I think I've got 3 or 4 lying around and some unboxed. The unboxed ones, I think I'll leave. You've got until December 23 to Bluetooth up, baby. Bluetooth now, yeah. 4 unopened controllers. Oh my God, Crow. I know, I keep discovering them. I know what you mean. I've got still, look, the cellophane is still on this one. I don't know if you can tell, it's sort of still shiny. I've given some away. It's crazy. Yeah, 30 days every day. Good for you, Anthony. Streaming a game every day. It does feel good. Yeah. Don't know. Oh, 4 scars. It is a sad day in cloud gaming. Managed to finish Resident Evil Village just in time. Phew. Yeah. People's Club. I'm a flirt now. Yeah. I've moved on. You soon moved on, didn't you? You didn't waste time getting in bed with somebody else, Clive. No. No good crying over spilt milk. What is done is done. What will be, will be. So, yeah, ditto. GFN and Xbox. Yo, the preacher's in the house. MM2K. Oh, I miss the preaching. I miss it. It was like the Church of Stadia. Hallelujah, brother. Luna, I've not really heard much from Luna, other than what MM2K and Jack the Slip put on Cloud Dosage about also more games have left Luna. You don't really hear much about it. It's like a subsidiary, like just a little bonus extra as part of Amazon bits and bobs, isn't it? See you on the next one. Bluetooth suggestion. Yeah, as I say, end of the year. Ahead of its time. I think it was ahead of its time, but things have caught up and overtaken it now, in fairness. Just, as I say, GeForce Now announced their 4080 tier rolling out very soon. More announcements to come very, very soon. Pay attention. I'd do it all over again. Exactly. You know what? So would I. So would I. I wanted to be a pioneer. I wanted to be a founder. I wanted to be able to say, yeah, I was there. You see my name, my game tag, my Stadia game tag. There ain't no numbers there, baby. I wanted people, I jumped on board. It was a risk worth taking. I used Stadia in VR. What? And it was insane on the huge theatre. You know, one thing I wanted to do, a big video about playing Stadia at a cinema. You know, you can hire a cinema to do gaming. I wanted to hire a cinema and see whether you could, you know, whether they had a gaming PC there and you could stream Stadia on a massive screen and play it and then make a big video about it. And I never pulled my finger out to do it. It would have been a good video. Big one. See the transition to streaming in other forms of media. Exactly. I'm a huge fan of, just don't like the price increase. Shadow. Oh, yeah, Shadow. Yeah. Crazy as it sounds, I'll do it again. I got my money back. So they did right. Exactly. We got our money back. We had a ride. We rinsed it for what it was. Got our money back. Hey, MM2K. Crying shame. Oh, I jumped too far ahead now. Victor there. Look, Victor. Thank you. Victor, I missed that, Victor. Sorry. I'm missing stuff. Thank you, Victor. Much appreciated. After Google announced the shutdown, I played on the hardware for a few months and realized why so few people were attracted. A lot of us were drawn back to gaming because of Stadia. Exactly. Even some quotes on the BBC site. I saw that. A lot of us had older hardware, no hardware. Yeah. But if you own hardware, cloud gaming is still kind of hard to sell. I don't know. I don't know. I have a video coming out tomorrow about 2 o'clock UK time. And it questions that, considering the average graphics card in the UK in 2022 was a 1650. Seeing what I've just seen and experienced over the last week. That's all I'm going to say about cloud gaming. Video coming out tomorrow. PUBG was awesome. It was so much fun. That's why I downloaded it. I missed it. Download it on Xbox. I missed it. I wish it was on GeForce Now. I don't know why it's not on GeForce Now. Makes no sense. Jerry, how are you? Amazon Luna may be my preferred platform because it feels like a contained console. I think, you know, for me, that would be the appeal to me. But of course, we don't have it here in the UK. For the Ubisoft games. Yeah. Stadia team was the best. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you for old time's sake. Thank you for take a drink. Destiny is down. I know it's been down for a few days. Of course, I suggested, didn't I? Yes, it was. It did go down. I'm going to sleep on NVIDIA taking the cloud. Yes. I wonder what. Yes, exactly. You'd think they would do something. I want to see all the others add the ability to live stream in the cloud. It seems like YouTube was the glue that held it together. Exactly. Thank you for all the developers. All developers. I mean, you know, they took the risk, didn't they? Victor had 217 games in his Stadia library. Wow. What a ride. Luna or GFN? Yeah, much love there. Pony now, internet games. Fair enough. Two of the coolest features I've ever seen for gaming are introduced on live. The Spectators Arena, always on spectating for your friend's stream. Cool. Going to use Luna to do the new Ubisoft games. You know, Luna can now purchase you. Oh, Ubisoft, exactly. That's what you need. That was, people didn't understand the business model, but I liked it. Like Amazon Prime, you can rent some movies and stream them as part of a package, or you could buy and download. Not download, but you could buy and rent movies to watch, you know? It's the same, the Stadia model. William Gross, the Stadia controller is my favorite. It's so lovely. Oh, internet's been banned from the Reddit. Banned from the Reddit already. Let's do some quick news. Look. Look on the BBC website. Gamers say goodbye to Google Stadia as it shuts down. Stadia was touted as a Netflix for games. That's such lazy journalism. Such lazy journalism. Journalism. My wife's going to be using a remote on Xbox. Ooh, wow, controversial. Google's promised refunds to everyone. Exactly. There we go. The Worm game. Outcasters saying goodbye. No more Outcasters with splash damage. Q Games. Pixel Junk Raiders. Looking for a home. Gone forever. That was such an interesting game. Such great graphic style. Pixel Junk Raiders. Geordie. Now, who are these people they quoted? Geordie30 from Gosport said she owned 3 Stadia controllers. Where did they find these people? I honestly love Stadia, she said. One of the things I love best about it was I could game anywhere. Exactly. And praise Google for not leaving people out of pocket. Dan, 30 in Kent. How did they find these people? I picked up Stadia because of the ease of use. I spent nearly £809 on games. Some contributors asked for their surnames to be withheld. There we go. Gunsport was another one. Stadia is shutting down tomorrow. This means all the exclusive, like the original Gunsport, will blink out of existence. But since we care about game preservation, we've made an offline version of Gunsport available in the Steam version of Hyper Gunsport through the beta channel. If you know what that means, it's there. And they explain it all there from Necrosoft Games. Who's been playing Worm? There's a race to get to the top. Gubby Man has a massive score, 113,000 there. Anybody I recognise on there? No. Come on, guys. Get yourself on the Worm chart. Make me want to wiggle and wriggle. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, yeah. Also, good 9 to 5 article. Get your Google takeout. Save your files. A good breakdown. And also, it also goes through here. Destiny 2, transferring your character. That sort of happens automatic if you open it up on another platform. I've done that. Hitman. You need, it's probably a bit late now, but you need to activate a sort of transfer, a one-only offer, and they'll start that process over the next few weeks. Red Dead Online are doing it for a few people. Some users have had success. Cyberpunk, if you can transfer your progress if you do your Google takeout. It's all explained here in the wonderful 9 to 5 by Nexus Ben. And there you go. That's the news. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say? It's been amazing. All I can say is make sure you watch right to the end. Oh, look, I've died. Am I still talking? Right, well, my camera's died on me. Oh, I've died. YouTube's died. Keep watching to the end. That's all I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen. As we say farewell, cue the end titles. Goodbye, Stadia.
It's at the last show of the tour. Everybody, this has been one of the greatest tours of our life. We really, I'd like to thank the band. I'd like to thank our road crew, and I'd like to thank our lighting people. Of all the shows on this tour, this particular show will remain with us the longest, because not only is it the last show of the tour, but it's the last show that we'll ever do. Thank you.